Hi, my name is Ken Feinstein, Vice President of Midcom Data Technologies, and welcome to our webinar. For over 35 years, Midcom has been a leader in barcode printing and barcode scanning solutions. I'm very excited to introduce our guest today from Newcastle Systems, who will go over how to solve a problem you don't even know you have. With us today, we have Drew Arnold with Newcastle Systems. We invite everyone to participate by asking questions as you think of them. We'll have time at the end to go over them. And now it's my pleasure to pass this over to Drew.
Hi, everyone. By signing up for this webinar, you took a step to make improvements. In this industry, you're either getting better or falling behind. So thank you all for attending. I appreciate the opportunity to talk about process improvement and mobile-powered workstations. When I started here 6 years ago, most people didn't really know what mobile-powered workstations were. Still today, some people don't know what they are, and that's okay. I'm here to talk about the technology and explain how it can help. So what are mobile-powered workstations? It's simple. It's a cart with a battery pack on it that allows you to power your devices on the go. Devices such as computers, label printers, laser printers, devices you need to receive and ship product. We solve a complex, costly problem with a simple solution. Here's an example from a new customer. I get a call one day from Jerry, an operations director, and he says, Drew, I have a major problem. My receiving operations bogged down. Pallets are piling up. It's affecting other areas of the building. I'm running overtime to try to keep up. It's chaos. People are dragging pallets all over. They're walking all over. We're just not receiving fast enough. Based on a time study I did with our motion meter app, I estimated around 17 minutes of waste per hour per person. The next step was to demo the product and let them measure the results. After the 2-week trial, Jerry called me and he said, Drew, we have experienced a 30% increase in productivity. I'm saving over 2 hours a day per person. I was actually able to reallocate someone from receiving to picking. I'm not running any more overtime, and labeling errors have disappeared. Now, I'm a visual person, so here is a visual form of that story. This is a time-lapsed side-by-side video of a receiving process with and without our product. I think the video speaks for itself. Now, if this video resonated with any of you, please let us know after the webinar. Now let's talk about some of the known challenges that DC faces: labor, capacity, and smaller budgets. Now, labor's been a problem in this industry since I've been in it. Everybody is always hiring, right? You think about it, it's a tough job. The pay isn't great. Hours can be weird. Sometimes the work is unengaging. Next door, they're always paying an extra quarter per hour. You think about it right now with the pandemic, millions of people are unemployed, yet warehouses still can't find enough people. It's tough. From an operations standpoint, if you have good people showing up, you cannot waste their time. So anything that can be done to save time has to be looked at. Now, I'm in Indiana. I can't drive down the interstate without seeing a magic show of someone turning a cornfield into a warehouse. And this has to do with capacity. As demand increases, volume of throughput increases. If you can't keep pace, then more space is needed. This means adding on or building a new building. So if there's something that you can do to improve your current capacity, that can equate to major savings. Expansion is expensive. And then thirdly, budgets. I know I'm preaching to the choir here. It's tough to get big money for projects. When I was traveling a lot and doing a lot of conferences and trade shows, I would always try to attend breakout sessions on robotics and automation. And at the end, almost every single time, somebody would stand up and say, hey, this stuff's really cool, but I don't have the money for robots or this full automation. Is there anything out there for me? And that's really where we fit in, right? So you have to keep an eye out for cost-effective solutions that can impact your operation. Now, we see a lot of wasted motion, and the problem with that is that motion can look like somebody is really busy. And in fact, they are busy, but if there's no value to their footsteps, it's just a cost. Same thing with dragging pallets around. Dragging pallets can look like hard work, and to be fair, it is hard work to drag pallets around, but if they don't need to be moved, it's just another form of waste, and it can have the potential for injury. Now, bottlenecks limit the flow of material so that a poor process upstream can slow down a good process downstream. Labeling accuracy is a common problem that seems small, but if not caught in the building, can be a major problem, including lost customers. Earlier this year, we had a prospect that the reason they reached out to us is they had a very simple mislabel error. They just grabbed a label and put it on the wrong pallet. They actually shipped that pallet to the wrong country. That one little mistake ended up costing them $40,000. So it can be big. Now, most DCs have Wi-Fi, but the interesting thing is a lot of the devices are still tethered to the wall with a power cord. That ultimately reduces the effectiveness of the infrastructure. And then I see a lot of fixed areas, which, they make sense to have a fixed receiving area and a fixed shipping area. But when they're truly fixed, that area is not very flexible, right? So you can't meet the demands of peak sometimes with those fixed areas. So if there's a way to improve flexibility through mobility, it's definitely worth a look. Now, these hidden problems can lead to bigger problems. These bigger problems can start to affect KPIs and goals. And ultimately, if your income's tied to that, it can affect you personally, right? So one of the things that we always like to do is measure the waste in a process. So to do that, first, you have to define your process. If you don't define your process, you can't measure it. So to do that, you need to write out each step of the process. Then determine if that step is waste or value added. If you're not sure, imagine that step as a line item on a receipt that you're showing your customer. If they're willing to pay for that step, it's probably value. If they're not, it's probably waste. Once you're to that point, you need to time each step in your process and then figure out how many times that cycle takes place in an hour. This will give you a great baseline for how many minutes per hour of your process are waste. You can then use that information combined with the employee labor rate to come up with a cost. Now, in my story I started with, they had about 17 minutes of waste per hour in their process. Receiving associates had a labor rate of $18 per hour, and they're supposed to work a 40-hour work week. Based on that, over the course of the year, each employee spent over 589 hours walking to pallets. That's over 14 weeks. Now, time's one of those resources that we can't get back, so you can see that there is a major problem there that could have been overlooked. So this project had a really great ROI. Our ROI calculator breaks down the inputs that we previously measured. So in this case, the cart cost $3,300, but it paid for itself in 3 to 4 months. This company ended up saving over $10,000 a year per person. Now, this doesn't measure the reduction in receiving staff, just the savings from not paying people to walk anymore. It had a very fast ROI for the cart. However, they also bought new Zebra ZT411s. The ROI with the cart and the printer is a little over 5.5 months. Most companies are okay with an ROI payback of 12 months or less. So in this case, operations was happy because they were more efficient. IT was happy because they got new printers. Finance was happy because it all had a great return. So these carts can be used as a tool for process improvement, and they are, but they can also be used as a tool for cost justification for refreshing hardware. You can really look at this as a total solution. Now, Midcom can help you bring it all together as they provide each piece of the total solution. Now, one thing I do want to mention is when I get into the options of carts is typically the cart is dictated by the hardware that you need to power and the runtime. And that generally leads us down a path to which cart makes the most sense. And one other thing I'd like to bring up is that we are not healthcare related, right? These are industrial carts made for the warehouse and the manufacturing facilities. So on the left, we have our EC series, which is our entry-level cart. It's great for lower power draws, and we see this cart used a lot in receiving, inventory, powering a laptop, maybe a desktop label printer, tabletop label printer, something like that, one shift. It's a really good entry-level product to get you into mobile power. In the middle, we have our NB series, which is our mid-size cart. It's our most popular and our most diverse cart. It's pretty much used all over warehouses, receiving, shipping, inventory, supervisor carts, literally everywhere. You can power computers, label printers, even laser printers with this cart. And on the right is our PC series, which is our heavy duty cart. It's not only our largest cart, so it's great for workspace, but we can also put our largest power pack in this cart, so we can power the most devices and much higher power loads. Because of that, we do typically see this cart used more in shipping as kind of a mobile pack station. Again, computer, label printer, laser printer, scales, whatever you might need. Here on the left is a very appropriately named cart. It's a laptop cart. It's great for powering a laptop and maybe a small desktop label printer. We created this just to be small, simple, and cost effective. So we had a lot of customers just wanting to power a laptop. This is a great option for that. In the middle, we have our Apex series. It's great for lower power draws. Again, maybe like a desktop printer, a monitor, a laptop, something like that. But the cool thing about this cart is that the shelf is adjustable electronically. So it's got a keypad on it, up and down. Somebody that's 5 foot tall can use this cart. Somebody that's 6'5" can use this cart ergonomically. So it's pretty cool. And over on the right, we have our quality control cart. And this cart's unique because it's made out of a high density plastic and it has great options for lockable drawers. So sometimes we've seen people put instruments in there, just great for the QC process. Again, kind of lower power draw, your computer, monitor, maybe a desktop label printer, scanner, something like that. And then regarding our battery systems, on the left, that is a sealed lead acid power pack. Now, sealed lead acid batteries, older technology, they weigh about 70 pounds. They get 300 life cycles roughly. You could think of a life cycle as a tank of gas. It's on full, you take it down to empty and fill it back up. It's a pretty rugged industrial solution, and it's got a lower upfront cost compared to some of our other options. In the middle is our fixed lithium battery. It ends up being about 1/4 of the weight as a sealed lead acid option, but the big thing is it gets 10 times the life cycles. So you're closer to the 3,000 life cycle range. And despite it being a little bit more expensive up front, it ends up being the cheaper option long term. Now over on the right is our Nucleus Mini and our Nucleus Classic. Those are our swappable lithium batteries. So with these systems, you can run 24/7 for any application that you may need. They also get 3,000 life cycles. And these batteries, the Classic is 12 pounds, the Mini is 6 pounds. So they're truly a lightweight, long-term battery. Right now in 2020, we're about 50-50 between sealed lead acid and lithium, but lithium is gaining ground like you wouldn't believe. So next year, I would imagine we're definitely gonna be shipping out a lot more lithium and sealed lead acid. Now, some of this information is from a customer survey that we did last year, and they reported that receiving is our #1 application. 60% of our customers use the carts in shipping, and 30% reported inventory. Now you can add that up, and they total over 100%. And so what that means is people are using these in multiple areas of their facility, and we do see that maybe receiving initially gets them, and then shipping gets them, and then inventory gets them too. So it's kind of cool to see. But again, typical devices that we power: computers, label printers, laser printers, scales, scanners, sometimes wireless extenders, kind of the basic stuff that you see around a warehouse. So who is using these solutions? No matter what industry you're in, chances are you've got competitors that are already utilizing our solution. We like to brag about this slide because we're a pretty small company and there's a lot of big names on there, something we're very proud of, but I share it also to show that it's a heavily adopted solution, but there's still a lot of buildings without these carts in them. Now, hopefully you can see that mobile powered carts can help improve labeling accuracy, increase velocity and capacity, improve safety, and they help reduce fatigue, which ultimately can help with employee turnover. Even in areas you may not think contain a lot of wasted motion, consider quantifying the waste to see how big the problem actually is. We have ways to help. I want to leave you with these two tools that you saw throughout the webinar. One is our free motion meter app, which is available on the Apple App Store and Google Play. And the other is the ROI calculator, which is on our website, but you can reach out to Midcom if you'd like the Excel version. The motion meter helps map out your process and provide visual data. The ROI calculator can help you quantify the cost and create the ROI for the solution. Now, I'm happy to help you do this. If you want to reach out to Midcom and get something set up afterwards, we can do some sort of mobility audit like I did in the story I shared. But remember, we've helped thousands of companies just like yours solve a complex problem with a simple solution.
Great, great. We should have some time here for some questions. Got a couple that have starting to come in here. Drew, one of the questions that came up when we were talking is, do these carts need any assembly?
Yeah, so they're going to ship from our production facility, mostly assembled. The only thing that would not be assembled is anything on the cart that would increase the shipping dimensions. So something like a monitor mount, we don't put that on the cart, one, to decrease shipping costs, but also decrease the damage from shipping.
Okay. Somebody here is asking, what's the average lead time for one of these carts?
Right, so typically in normal conditions, our lead time is generally around 2 weeks. Right now, it's kind of in that 3 to 4 week range. Just did a couple variables out there right now.
Yeah, I imagine with the holidays and everything. Here's asking, how many printers and laptops can be powered at one time on the cart?
Yeah, so it all kind of depends on the wattage, right? So if you've got multiple printers, maybe like label printers, you can put quite a few on a cart. I think, as far as my experience, I've only had one situation where somebody was trying to power more than 2 printers, but that's something that we take off a case by case basis. So we always want to know what's the hardware you're looking to power and how much runtime do you need.
Yeah, it's all about draw. I imagine it's not that uncommon to see an industrial printer with a smaller clamshell printer on the same cart, both taking a different amount of power.
Yes, correct.
What's the warranty on the battery? That's a good question.
Yeah, so our sealed lead acid batteries have a 6-month warranty. Our fixed lithium batteries have a 30-month warranty. And then the green swappable lithium batteries have a 3-year warranty.
Okay. There's someone here asking about average runtime. So what's the runtime of, I don't know if they're asking about the battery or the cart, but I guess you could address one of the same there.
Yeah, so typically with any setup that we do, again, we're going to know what they're powering and how much runtime they need. We're going to get you set up for at least a shift. But like I mentioned, the swappable lithium, I mean, that cart can run 24/7 and never lose power. So it really goes back to your application. What are you powering? How much runtime do you need?
Sure. How is it, the one here about the battery, how long does it take to charge the battery? I mean, that might depend on which battery you're talking about, but.
Yeah, so the small lithium, that can charge in 2 hours. The bigger swappable lithium, that can charge in 4. And then the sealed lead acid and the fixed lithium, those are going to range somewhere between 5 to 8 hours to fully recharge.
Okay. And someone here is asking about the warranty on the cart. I imagine they come with a nice standard warranty.
Yeah, so we had mentioned the battery warranty, the electrical components. So on the lithium, the swappable version, there's docks that the batteries go in. Those come with a 1-year warranty, and that's the same with the fixed systems, the inverters, the chargers. Those come with a 1-year warranty. The cart itself, the frame, the metal, that has a 5-year warranty.
A great warranty. Got time for just a couple more here. What is the average number of carts you would deploy for a 50,000 square foot warehouse?
Yeah, so it really it varies. I think our most dense customer, they actually it's pretty small. They have a 26,000 square foot facility, and they actually have 12 carts. But the flip side of that, I've seen a 500,000 square foot facility, and they only need 3 or 4. So it really depends on your application, your process, how you
Yeah,
receive product, how you ship product.
yeah. And someone was asking, which I think we saw in the video, how much time saving do you typically see with the mobile carts?
Yeah, so it's pretty common for us to see anywhere from 10 to 30 minutes per hour in waste in a process. And again, that's just the walking back and forth. So, to play it safe, if it's 10 minutes per hour, that's almost 8 weeks of the year just spent walking. If you equate that, typically we see an ROI payback for one shift operation within 3 to 6 months at that 10-minute benchmark. It's very common
Yeah,
to
I think
see
in
that.
your example, I think you saw 17 minutes of wasted time. So I think it's
That's right.
probably a very conservative thing with the 10 minutes.
Yes.
Um, Someone else is asking here, where are the carts made?
Yeah, so the carts are manufactured and they ship out of Haverhill, Massachusetts, which is about 45 minutes north of Boston.
Right here in the U.S. Wonderful.
Yes,
Well,
sir.
it looks like all the questions that have come in. I'd like to thank Drew for all that important information on how to solve that problem you didn't even know you have. Um, to get more information on the mobile workstations or a total solution, give us a call. Call us at 866-886-2252 or visit us on the web. There's a link right there on the page there. And we'd love to help you out with the solution. Again, thanks again to Drew at Newcastle Systems, and this will conclude our webinar.